Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with some more tournament coverage from the semifinals of the Smogon Premier League. So for those of you that are not up to date with SPL, basically it's a team tournament where players are drafted to play specific tiers, and right now they're in semifinals tiebreakers. So I'll actually be recording those. If I don't manage to catch them live, I'll be commentating all the replays since it's only 6 games total, and I'll be bringing them to the channel. But for the 4 teams that are in semifinals, again, if those of you don't know, there's the Wi-Fi Wolfpack, which Void is on. There's the Alpha Ruiners, which We Three Kings is on. There's the Dragon Spiral Tyrants, whom Blender is on. And then there's Team Raiders, who have people like BKC, TDK, Roscoe, people like that. So, should be nice tournament games right here. I picked out a few that I thought were solid enough and that I thought I could at least commentate. I could also commentate like the ADV ones, but my ADV is not as solid as my DPP. At least my knowledge on it is alright, because I've been tutored in it before by Danilo. But I want to talk more about these games. So I have 4 games here for you, just like yesterday. And of course, you guys can let me know your thoughts. And also, if you don't want to hear me pausing and talking between them, I'm linking all 4 replays down below in the description, so you can watch them whenever you feel like it. Anyway, We Three Kings versus Void. Now, We Three Kings has an Azelf lead and Void has a Flygon lead. Now, Flygon could be 2 things on lead, typically 2 things on lead, and maybe there's some that you could do like that are out there, like a Life Orb Flygon or an Extra Belt Flygon. But typically, if you see a Flygon as a lead, it's either Choice Band or Choice Scarf. Choice Band is pretty cool because it's actually pretty anti-lead for a Pokemon like Dragonite, because you just run Dragon Claw and knock it out. You could also run Stone Edge, which helps knock out Zapdos. Choice Scarf Flygon is a really good lead too, because it gives you momentum and it lets you see how it's not like necessarily a dedicated lead like a lot of teams in DPP do have, but it actually lets you just take advantage of whatever your opponent leads off with. Now, Azelf is a lead. Azelf, it can do a ton of things. It can be Focus Sash, Explosion, Stealth Rock, Life Orb attacking one, Cobra Berry, that way it beats Tyranitar and Machamp, can set up rocks on those. Choice Scarf and Choice Bands are also options. Choice Band Explosion, for example, knocks out Metagross from full, knocks out Heatran from full, knocks out Jirachi from full, so it's like Azelf can be a nuke. Now, again, it could be rocks, but again, Scarf is an option, and Scarf does run Ice Punch for Flygon, but we end up seeing that this Flygon is indeed Choice Scarf. Ends up going for U-turn, goes right out Scizor. Smart play. There's no way that the We Three Kings, even if he did have a fire move, would go for it there. So Scizor comes in, and Scizor goes for the very safe move, which is Bullet Punch. Now Jirachi's going to come in and is revealed Leftovers. You see Leftovers on Jirachi, and it came immediately in on Scizor. The thing is, Scizor runs a lot of bulk, and it's just naturally bulky anyway, just based on the damage. That's not banded damage on Jirachi regardless. So even if Jirachi has Fire Punch or HP Fire, it will not be able to knock out Scizor. So Void makes a good play right here and goes for U-turn, as We Three Kings tries to catch something, expecting him to expect the Fire Punch. So he's able to U-turn out right out to Infernape, and we already have a good idea of what type of team Void has. Void has 3 U-turners, just keep up momentum, and just pressure We Three Kings a lot. So Infernape comes in, goes for U-turn, could be Choice Band Infernape, could be double Choice Scarf, could even be Extra Belt, but a Gliscor is revealed, so Flygon is going to U-turn out of there as a Swampert comes out. Really smart. Now, we see Gliscor go right for Swords Dance, but we see Leftovers. Now, when a Gliscor goes for Swords Dance in DPP, one thing you automatically fear is the Swords Dance agility baton pass, or the Swords Dance baton passing to something like a Metagross, right? And the Metagross will then go for agility, or even already have an agility up and put in a lot of work. However, we see Leftovers on this Gliscor, so I don't think that this is a baton passing set. I think this is a more of an offensive set, maybe SD Ice Fang, Roost Earthquake, which is really, really solid versus Void's team. If you just look at it, it deals with Infernape, will deal with Flygon, can beat a Scizor 1v1 just because of natural bulk, and Scizor runs more Spadef than they do Fizdef in this tier anyway, because Spadef lets Scizor take on like offensive Starmie, and there's no Scald in this generation, so you don't have to worry about them burns. But we do see Leftovers as the as a Swampert comes out, so I'm thinking that's more of an offensive Gliscor. I was actually commentating this live on my stream as well, but an Ice Beam goes out as a Starmie is going to be revealed, and Void actually opts to go for Earthquake. I respect that play a lot, especially when you have what looks to be a banded Infernape as well as a Scizor. You want Starmie as weakened as possible. Now, unfortunately, We Three Kings misses the Hydro Pump, and I think what Void was going for there was to take the pump and then put him at 100% in range of Mach Punch, because he's not in range of Adamant Mach Punch just yet. He need that one Life Orb hit. However, that miss right now will come to bite him in the back, as you guys will see. But he doubles out to Scizor on the expected Ice Beam or Psychic. That way he can knock him out with Bullet Punch, as Gliscor comes out right there and he just opts to go for SD with this Scizor. I think just trying to get pretty much some offensive presence right here. So we 3 Kings predicts the Bullet Punch, goes out to Jirachi, as basically Jirachi would have been able to take that and knock it out with Fire Punch. As you see, Scizor at full does not have to fear Jirachi, and Jirachi being that low, chances are we 3 Kings might have another Steel type in the back. Double Steel is pretty common in DPP, especially with Flygon running rampant. So and Dragonite being able to Dragonance up, but weakening Jirachi to that point means that potentially Flygon can click Outrage to win, though of course Gliscor at full HP it's not likely. So Breloom ends up coming out on the Swampert right there, and just opts to go for Seed Bomb. Smart play. His own Breloom was already poisoned, and Seed Bomb and Superpower knocks out Breloom anyway, and there was more likely that he would, like, I don't think that we 3 Kings would go for Spore there in any situation. I don't think Spore was ever the play in any situation. So sack Scizor, makes sense. I mean, you have Mach Punch plus Scarf, Flygon in the back for Starmie anyway. So now this is really, really important. This is really, really important. Well, as you guys will see in a bit. But Infernape is going to come out and just go right for Flare Blitz. Choice Band Flare Blitz pretty much nets him a kill no matter what. But Tyranitar is going to come out, and it is Choice Band Tyranitar because this Pursuit does so much to Infernape, it actually puts it in range of rocks. However, he is able to bring in Breloom. And Breloom can put in some work right now. It can just go right for Seed Bomb. It does not have to bother going for Superpower at all. It could have gone for Spore as well. But Breloom can put in some work right now because it gets the turns of Poison Recovery that, like, an offensive Hydro Pump would have done enough. I don't think Breloom would have been at 86%. And basically, because of the dodge of Hydro Pump earlier, we see that his Breloom's able to take the Superpower, and then because of the -1 defense, Breloom's going to go down. Now, I don't know if there's a speed tie because Breloom's are really odd. They're both the same set. Superpower, Mach Punch, Spore, Seed Bomb. That's the more updated Breloom set. You see that more nowadays because it checks Lucario and, more importantly, checks Dragon and Tyranitar. Oh, Lucario is definitely super important. Don't sleep on that mono DPP. But I don't know how much speed they were either running. I doubt that was a speed tie because, again, Breloom run random numbers in this tier. Sometimes outspeed Skarmory. I see some outspeeding defensive Tran. I see some hitting over 200 speed for some Tyranitar and some Magma Zone. So Breloom can run whatever it wants. But I don't know if he would have had enough recovery there if the Hydro Bump connected, because he did get 2 turns of recovery, so I doubt he would have had enough recovery. So if this Breloom was indeed faster, which we saw that it was, it definitely would have been the difference between KOing it and not. But anyway, that Breloom is still in enough range where it can actually still Mach Punch Starmie if he wants to. But opts to sack Breloom to the Gliscor, really smart play because this denies setup, and we do see Ice Fang, and then a Rotom is going to come out right now. So Rotom comes out, goes for Will-O-Wisp because of the way Burn works in this generation, and Sand being infinite, obviously. Also, Rotom is not water type in this generation, for those that don't know, it's Ghost Electric. Goes for Will-O-Wisp, Starmie's going to go down. I think he wanted to go off a potential Hydro Pump miss and try and basically try and just Hydro Pump it from there to try and win with Gliscor, because Gliscor might have had a chance if it got up in SD, because Swampert's so low and Ice Fang knocks out Flygon at the range it's at. But it turns out that this is not SD Ice Fang Roost. If it was SD Ice Fang Roost, I think Sub-Split Rotom would be able to still beat it 1v1. I think it still PP stalls it, because it turns out he is actually indeed Sub Thunderbolt, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Rotom. But we do reveal right here. Well, not right here, but we do reveal in a second that this Gliscor is actually running SD Thunderfang. So what it more than likely was Hypercutter. Hypercutter obviously denies Intimidate from Gyarados, and SD offensive Gliscor would have been able to deal with Gyarados, deals with Flygon and Dragonite and things like that. So I think he only revealed Thunderfang just to show to the chat that, no, I'm not Roost, stop talking, just in case people were there. But yeah, Void pretty much just wins with this Rotom, so really well played. I think things might have gone a little bit differently if the Hydro Pump connected, but Void definitely didn't give him an advantage from there. Like, he played himself in a position where it didn't matter. But let's just say hypothetically the Hydro Pump connected and Breloom was in range of Superpower. It might have been a little bit difficult for Void to win, just because defensive Breloom walls this Rotom for days, gets a free Spore, Infernape dies to Rocks, and Flygon, if it locks up the Outrage, you just sack Starmie, go out to Gliscor, and just click Ice Fang. So, I mean, that's Pokemon for you, but definitely still well played on Void's part to not give up an advantage at all, I think. So, really nice game. Next up we have Soul Gazer versus Chill Shadow. I've teamed with Chill Shadow before. Great guy. I love Soul Gazer. Good friend. So, let's let you look at the teams we have. So, Shaman and Dragalge. These are really interesting because The combination of the two definitely pressure him, but they kind of get hard walled by Bronzong unless it's like Sub-Seed Shaman. We do see a Blastoise, which is Mega Blastoise, and Passimian, which is really cool. Passimian being able to knock off Gligar and Jellicent will be really, really useful, assuming it's Scarf Passimian. Looks like to be a speed control. I'm not 100% sure, but it also checks Tyrantrum at +1, speed ties with Gardevoir, and can also check Virizion. So let's get into this. So Soul Gazer ends up leading off with Shaman, does really well versus his team, as Chill Shadow leads off with Virizion, and Soul Gazer does reveal the Air Slash immediately. So Bronzong comes out on that. Soul Gazer is going to take an opportunity to get up his own rocks versus Chill Shadow's Bronzong, and it is revealed that these are Psywave. Now, if you guys don't know how Psywave works, it does 50 to 150 damage. So sometimes it can be doing 50, sometimes it can be doing up to 150. As you can see, I think Chill Shadow's game plan here is to pretty much get free damage off on anything, since Gardevoir, this is Soul Gazer's only Gardevoir switching. On the real, like, this is his only Gardevoir switching. Obviously, Shaman takes a hit, Blastoise would take a hit. Even Dragalge would take a Moonblast, and maybe a Scarf Psychic, depending. And Rhyperior takes a hit too. But everything is pretty much 2-hit KO'd if they are offensive by Scarf Gardevoir. So I really agree with how Chill Shadow opted to play this. Yes, getting rid of Bronzong also means that when Dragalge comes out, he essentially gets a kill as well, which was, I think, Soul Gazer's game plan. Weaken his only switch into a Specs Dragalge right here, or a Z Dragalge. But at the same time, it's like you lost one of your rock resists, and more importantly, a ground immunity right there. As you can see, the Tyrantrum comes out, goes right for Earthquake on the Rhyperior coming in, and goes for a double Earthquake as Shaman is going to come out. Now, again, Shaman is super good versus Chill Shadow. Soul Gazer does reveal the Synthesis, which is really nice, and he's able to go right for the Bloom Doom on the Gligar, and doesn't take it out though. However, Gligar is in range of Air Slash when it comes back in. Gardevoir comes out. Scarf Gardevoir does not knock out Shaman right here at all, and it turns out it is indeed Scarf. Gets a special attack drop, but that doesn't matter too much because Soul Gazer ends up getting a crit anyway, and basically you can sack Rhyperior right now. And what Soul Gazer tries to do, and I completely understand that, because you don't want Blastoise taking a hit, you don't want Dragalge taking a hit, because Dragalge is still your check to Virizion. So and especially with Gligar being so low, Passimian puts in a lot of work. So I understand what Soul Gazer was going for right here. He went for the 50-50 speed tie with Passimian versus Gardevoir, and Chill Shadow ended up getting it. So because of that, not only is he able to get rid of Passimian, which checked a lot of his team with close combat. Obviously he had Jellicent, but Shaman plus Mega Blastoise broke through that core easily. It also means Gardevoir is able to pick up a KO, get in Dragalge right here, and what Soul Gazer tries to go for in the endgame, and I completely agree with this plays as well. He's pretty much just trying to put himself in a position to potentially win. And again, instead of knocking out Tyrantrum, because if he knocks out Tyrantrum, then Virizion gets to come out, and Shaman is low. So what he tried to do was sack Blastoise to get in Shaman on the confusion, but Bandit Tyrantrum is able to break through and just knock him out with Outrage. A little bit of banter right here, but basically, yeah, what he was trying to do was hope the Tyrantrum hit himself, get his Shaman out of range of all-out pummeling from Virizion, and potentially win with it, because Sea Flare will deal with Jellicent, Sea Flare will deal with Tyrantrum, Gligar goes down to Air Slash at that range, and Air Slash, though, doesn't actually knock out Virizion. There's always that crit chance as well, but yeah, so I completely agree with, outside of the Bronzong weakening, but I understand it as well. I think what I would have done was gone Blastoise and just thrown off an attack though, maybe like a Dark Pulse on Bronzong, because at worst case scenario, Virizion comes in, right? Let's say Virizion comes in on Dark Pulse. That's the damage you need on Virizion for Air Slash for later. But of course you want Blastoise as healthy as possible for Tyrantrum, which ended up being Choice Band. But huge that he lost that speed tie. Still a really good game, I think. And I like that Soul Gazer, even though it looked like he was out, he still tried to play back to his win con, which was him hitting himself and then critting on the Virizion's with Air Slash. But yeah, so next up we have a Sun and Moon OU game, Corey versus Trosk. Really nice team. I like Trosk's team. It feels like something with Jamba would run. I'm only saying that because you see a Gasket on there, but Tornadus is a pain for Corey because it just deters his team. This knocks off everything, whether it be Assault Vest on Magearna, Heat Waves Kartana, knocks off Clef. Zone is going to do absolutely nothing besides potentially trapping Kartana. That's the only thing that Zone could really do in this. And if you see a Zone on these types of teams, positive things, Scarf. One, it helps with the pincer weakness he has. Two, trapping Scizor is nice for Clefable and Kartana. And Scissors running like full Fizz Def these days because of Landorus, Zygarde, mainly Landorus really, Pokemon like that. So I think it's Scarf Zone, and this Bulu could be Assault Vest, could be SD. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So we see a Tornadus lead versus a Landorus. Really pretty much safe lead versus his team. Scarf Zone doesn't knock it out. You get a free knockoff. Now Landorus' lead is a little bit tricky because if it is Constant to Crush, that means the Tornadus will go down. So if it's Scarf though, it can't knock out. Even with Stone Edge, can't knock out Tornadus. Like the only thing a Scarf Landorus can do to knock out Torn is actually explode. So he U-turns out immediately as Landorus hard switches into Magearna. I think scouting for the Supersonic Sky Strike. But that means he's able to get in Heat Ran right now. Get up his rocks as Corey does. You know, it wasn't really a hard prediction. I mean, this is the rocker on his team besides Landorus, so it goes for Volt Switch there. Magma Storm can miss anyway. But he's able to get up his rocks as Mega Latios is going to come out. Goes out into Landorus expecting the Earthquake. Very nice play on Corey's part going for Psychic, trying to catch the Landorus or anything coming in on the Earthquake. So really not a nice play. And it looks like that Landorus is Scarf. So he goes Magearna on the U-turn. As Landorus U-turns out into Gastrodon, then doubles out into Heat Ran. Very, very, very solid play. This deals with the Flare Cannon that potentially Magearna would go for, even though it wouldn't have done crap anyway, so Gastrodon. But it also deals with the Clefable double and the potentially Kartana double, because unless it's Bandit Kartana or All Out Pummeling, it's not actually knocking out Heat Ran from full. So gets in Heat Ran right here and actually opts to go for Taunt. Great play, stops recovery from Latios, stops Calm Mind from Clefable, stops rocks from something coming in. So amazing play, or really just the best all-around play right there. And gets in Gastrodon on the incoming Psychic, and just goes for recovery because he knows he can live a Draco if anything. But goes right back on Heat Ran as this Clefable is revealed to be a Calm Mind. Now even with special attack drops and everything, unless this Clefable's HP Ground or Focus Blast or anything like that, Clefable cannot beat Heat Ran. As you can see, it's only doing 8% of that one, and Tran just basically gets free Magma Storms, can start taunting. So while Tran is not doing much damage, Clefable is pretty much forced to just click Moonblast here, and I'm thinking is it Calm Mind Stealth Rock? Or is it Calm Mind Thunder Wave? I think it might be Calm Mind Stealth Rock, but either way, all he has to do is just keep spamming Taunt, and it makes sense. He's trying to weaken it, trying to make sure that nothing comes in necessarily, and basically he's down like a few Moonblast there. So repeated taunts, Clefable or Landorus is going to come out right here as Heat Ran is going to go for Taunt. So if this is Rocks Lando, it's not going to be able to go for it. And Trosk has a few solid switch-ins. Actually goes Torn, which is smart. Deals with the Earthquake coming out, and actually has a Rocky helmet, which is pretty cool. So also pressures Landorus for the Kartana in the back if it is Scarf Kartana. But then you turn out on Magearna as he's able to bring in Heat Ran. And once again, like Tran is just so annoying versus Corey's team. AV Magearna can't deal with it. Clef can't beat it. Lottie probably has Earthquake, but between Bulu and Tornadus and all these things, he doesn't switch in well. So Tornadus comes out, goes for U-turn one more time. Not wanting to go for Hurricane, risking that, even though it's Stealth Rock Landorus, I doubt it would do any damage, but gives him Gastrodon right now, as he is going to throw off a Scald, not wanting to double again, predicting Clefable, because he knows that he can either go Kartana or Heat Ran, as he actually goes hard Kartana on the Clef coming in. So this is really interesting, because this means that if he's SD, he can either go for it, but SD doesn't make much sense because, again, we're expecting it to be Scarf Magnus, and I'm pretty sure Tross knows the exact same thing. So he goes for knockoff on the Lando coming in, and that's actually Banded Kartana, if I'm not mistaken. Either that one is, or this one is. I don't think this one is Scarf. So, and knowing that double knockoff would knock him out, but also knowing that if he goes for it, the Magna Zone can come in and trap him, he actually switches out into Tornadus, which is a really solid play, because not only does it knock out Landorus with the Rocky Helmet, but it also means that Kartana is there another day, doesn't have to worry about being trapped, and now it doesn't have to worry about Intimidate. So Magearna comes out, again, U-turn, while he's only doing 3% with that and barely anything with Stealth Rock, he's still chipping away at that Magearna, and right here, Corey actually tries to go for double Volt Switch, expecting Tross to want to make the play of predicting the Clefable don't come out and double out to Heat Ran, and it's going to really cost him right there because he gets crit burnt, and that just means that Magearna is not coming in at all on anything at all. Like, that Bulu's looking really menacing. Look, I love its nickname, 100% win. But Bulu comes out on Clef, and that definitely means that this Bulu is not Assault Vest. You only bring an Assault Vest Bulu, especially when you have a Taunt Heat Ran. So it turns out it's SD with the +2 in the terrain, able to knock out Latios. No more fire resist left on Corey's team, as Corey is going to bring out the Magnezone and double out to Kartana. Really nice double, expecting Gastrodon to come in. But Trask actually decides to bring out Heatran because this covers a Flash Cannon play. There's no way you Volt Switch when you have Gastrodon, and he gets 2 turns of recovery right there. So Kartana is going to come out and goes for the knockoff. We do reveal that Trask's Kartana is Choice Band. I mean, you saw the damage on Lanners anyway. And this means that he can go for his own knockoff. That would cover the Magnezone switch and also pretty much punishes any switch. And just decides to double knockoff here as Clefable is going to go for the Moonblast. I mean, I'm completely fine with that. That pretty much meant that he can't switch in at all on this Heatran anyway. As Trent is going to go for Taunt. Now, Magma Storm will be able to knock out Magearna. I don't think Earth Power actually does. So he's not going to risk missing the Magma Storm and taking any unnecessary damage. He can just go right out into his Gastrodon, eat the hit, and next time Magearna comes in, if it does opt to come in, it goes down to Earth Power. So that means that he doesn't have to risk any Magma Storm at all. But he's going to bring out his Bulu now on the Clefable because Clefable is pretty much forced to go for the soft mode. And Bulu, once again, could potentially get a kill here. If he goes for Super Power, expecting Kartana to come in, or Magnezone can knock it out. Just goes for the Smart Horn Leech, not only giving him recovery so he can come back in later and taking those Calm Minds. Like right now, Corey's in the back just because of Trask's team composition. So he goes Magnezone and doubles out into Kartana, expecting Lanners to want to come in. He's going to try and do something here. Also expecting either Gastrodon to want to come in too. So with the Grassy Terrain, this Leaf Blade actually does a decent chunk, man. It actually did a decent chunk to Tornadus, but just shy of a 2-hit KO. So Trask is actually just going to go for the Hurricane this time, as even if Kartana was able to knock out Torn there, I don't think it mattered in the end anyway because Heatran was in. But he can go Heatran on the Confusion, as he did get a crit and a Confusion, and goes right for the Magma Storm right now, as Kartana is going to go in. Magma Storm pretty much guaranteed a kill on anything as opposed to going for Taunt. Misses on the Kartana coming in, but actually opts to make the play. Really aggressive right here. But I guess he felt confident enough with the fact that he had Tornadus in the back with Rocky Helmet and a Lanners in the back with Intimidate to expect him to want to go for something that wasn't Sacred Sword. So really aggressive play, especially because with Grassy Terrain up later, Beast boosted Kartana could have done a little bit of work, but I mean at the end of the day, you know, Tornado still had the Rocky Helmet and Regenerator, but works out for him because he is able to knock out Kartana right there. So really aggressive play, but and at that point, Corey's just gonna forfeit because he can't win with the 30% Clefable and the Magnezone, which if it knocks out, which can't even knock out Heatran at that point. So he'd just be able to Earth Power, taunt Clefable, Earth Power twice, and win the game. So really well played on Trask's part. The matchup was super good for him, like really good. But he also never gave his opponent a chance, I feel, to break free of, you know, the restraints that the matchup gave him. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like basically, Trask not only played it as well as he needed to, he just did what he had to do, put himself in position to win. Just because he acknowledged the fact that, yeah, this is my team has this, and this that can beat your squad. Really solid play, and just keeping himself there. So this is another game that I was really looking forward to, which was Dice versus BKC. If you guys don't know, BKC is the person that I love watching the most play OGens. Like, he is my favorite DPP player to watch, my favorite ADV player to watch, my favorite GSC player to watch. It doesn't really matter. There's like he's just my favorite player to watch. And Dice is a really solid player as well. So, that's Princess Dice, Princess Bree. Oh man, that brings back some funny memories back in the day. All that resolved though. But I feel like Kevin, whenever he plays these quote-unquote tense situations, and I say quote that because it's Pokemon at the end of the day, that man always brings a Pokemon that has to use Focus Blast. I love it. But Kevin bringing out some nice Sand Spikes offense with Megazam. Woo, this is black and white. Oh, you guys, there's no Megazam right here. Whereas Dice bringing some weatherless offense, but with some good Pokemon to take advantage of, you know, opposing weather. Ferrothorn plus Slowking deals with rain. Sand hates Garchomp Landorus plus Zam trapping Ferrothorn, and Alakazam is just a good Pokemon in general with Spike support. So we do see a Tyranitar lead versus a Garchomp lead. And Kevin just says, okay, well, the only Garchomp that can actually knock out Kevin, if he's not even Focus Sash, why are these sprites so big? If he's not even Focus Sash, Tyranitar is Choice Band Garchomp. So Kevin goes right for Ice Beam right here as Garchomp goes for Stealth Rock. And turn 1, 6-5 advantage, Kevin, 100%. So Landers comes in. Interesting that he brought in Lando directly there. But goes for U-turn. I'm not, like, Tyranitar, I hate Tyranitar in Gen 5 because that mon can run whatever the hell it wants and you can't kill it in one hit unless you Choice Band Terrakion, man. but it goes out into Landorus expecting either an Earthquake, maybe a Sewer Power. So maybe it wasn't Focus Sash on the T-Tar, as Slowking is going to come out. As opposed to actually going right for the U-turn himself, he actually opts to go hard into Tyranitar, maybe expecting him to maybe go Ferrothorn and get some Rocky Helm or Rough Skin damage off on him. Iron Barb, excuse me. But this does allow him to get up his Stealth Rock, which T-Tar, which will be chipping away at that Landorus, which is more than likely Scarf, as he can go Amoonguss now. And again, Sleep in any generation that's not Gen 6 and on is broken. For example, in this generation, you can use Spore on any type. It doesn't matter if it's a grass type or not. So, and on top of that, Sleep actually resets if you switch out. So Sleep lasts 3 turns, right? But if you switch out, what is it, 3 turns in Black and White as well? I just know if you switch out, man, you're never waking up because Sleep resets, okay? So if he goes for Spore on a Pokemon that comes in, right, and that Pokemon burns a turn of Sleep, if they switch out, the Sleep is reset. So they have not burnt any turns of Sleep. But Dice makes a pretty, I think a pretty revealing play, I want to say right here, and goes Landorus. So if he goes Landorus on the Spore, which he knows is coming out, there is no way that Landorus is not Sleep Talk. That's a really revealing play. And if he showed U-turn already on Landorus, which he has, it's more than likely this thing is Sleep Talk, U-turn, Earthquake, and HP Ice. HP Ice is used a lot for Lando. It's also Gliscor, but mainly Landorus. So that's definitely Sleep Talk. I think this turn was way too revealing, and you don't just give away your Scarf Landorus versus a team with Pokemon like Alakazam. So that has to be Sleep Talk. That's like, that just clicked automatically. So brings it in. He's able to go out to Ferrothorn right now on the Giga Drain right there that Kevin goes for, and this means that Ferrothorn can start laying up some spikes if it wants to. Even Knockoff can be used, even though in Generations like it doesn't do much. But BKC actually opts to go for the Hidden Power Fire right there, weakening Ferrothorn a bit, and then decides to go once again for the HP Fire, just trying to weaken this Ferrothorn, trying to put in a range of probably Zam's Focus Blast if it's Focus Sash. If it's Life Orb Zam, then he is in range of Focus Blast anyway, but goes directly out to Heatran right now, as Dice is going to go for the Leech Seed. Very, very, very solid play. And also that Protector is really solid too, because Sand plus Burn was really wearing down Amoonguss. So able to pretty much wear down the Heatran to about 50%. So that own Alakazam of Dice's is looking extremely threatening. Brings in Ferrothorn right now on the Slowking, and Slowking does reveal Dragon Tail. So it's probably Slack Off, Scald, Thunder Wave, and Dragon Tail, and this gives Heatran out. Now, the thing is, Heatran, a Leftovers Cram will not go down to a Scald from Slowking, so this does give him the opportunity to actually throw off a Toxic right here. Really nice for wearing down the Slowking. But again, a Tran at 57% should not go down to a hit from Slowking. Unfortunately, though, we do see a crit from this Scald, so that damage might have been crucial. Yes, Slowking does have Regenerator and Slack Off, but maybe if it was Magma Storm or even Earth Power or anything like that, getting off damage on Slowking would have been nice. But either way, Ferrothorn comes out on the Landorus' U-turn, and Kevin is actually going to bring out his Alakazam. Now, I don't know if he's risking the Focus Blast here, but it actually turns out he has HP Fire, and that is a Life Orb HP Fire Alakazam. We obviously see no damage because of Magic Guard, but that is definitely Life Orb Zam. There's just no way. So that means also in that generation, Hidden Power, if you have Hidden Power Fire, you don't have a perfect speed IV, meaning that Alakazam is 371 speed at max, and this Alakazam, if it's not running HP Fire from Dice, it's 372 speed, meaning that this Alakazam more than likely outspeeds this T-Tar, this Alakazam, and that's really, really bad for BKC. So opts to go for Signal Beam right there, which is going to be able to 2-hit KO the Tyranitar coming in. I think Kevin was going off the Shadow Ball into hoping a Focus Blast missed and then Pursuit to break the sub or something like that. But he is going to bring in his Magnezone on the U-turn right there. Really smart to bring in Magnezone right there, because there was no way that Kevin went for Earthquake when he has a Landorus. And if he did go for Earthquake, I'm pretty sure Slowking would have been able to take it, pivot into Landorus anyway, and it would have been a little bit bad for him. But he's able to bring out his Zam. He is going to go for the Hidden Power Fire on the Slowking coming in, and Dice is going to make a really, really nice play right here, and expect the Ferrothorn one to come out. So that was a really game-changing play, because he doubles out into his Specs Magnezone, and this means that it doesn't matter if this Ferrothorn ends up going for. It doesn't matter if this Ferrothorn ends up going for Protect, because that just means that Spec Zam is going to be able to knock it out anyway. So really, really good play. He definitely needed Ferrothorn to at least try and dodge a Focus Blast from Alakazam, and at the same time be able to wall the Landorus and also wall the Slowking. Basically, with Leech Seed plus Protect, Landorus does not beat Ferrothorn 1v1 unless it misses repeatedly. So he definitely needed Ferrothorn in there. And it was just a really good play on Dice's position. And that means he can just sack Madden Zone, go right out to Alakazam, because I'm pretty sure this is Life Orb Zam, and I'm positive that Dice's Zam, especially based on this damage, is Focus Sash. And you see right here, it is Focus Sash. So it's Life Orb versus Focus Sash. He's going to actually try to keep his Alakazam alive, because he's going to use that to attempt to do damage to the Landorus and whatnot. Smart play, because Psychic actually nabs a KO after U-turn. But as we talked about earlier on turn 6, there's no way you let a Landorus go to sleep, period. There's no way you let a Landorus go to sleep, period, turn 6 when they have an Alakazam, unless you're Sleep Talk. So Dice does reveal the Sleep Talk, regardless of what move he got there. U-turn, Earthquake, and we're pretty sure it's HP Ice's last move. There was nothing that the Zam would stay alive. It was at 1 HP, so he can sack his Alakazam right here, go right onto his Landorus, and basically he's not going for Sleep Talk, because if he gets Earthquake repeatedly and then U-turn crit Slowking, there's a chance he could lose, I guess. So what he has to do is just wait till he pretty much wakes up, since all he has to do is click HP Ice, and there's not, like, unless what BKC needed was like 7 crits, maybe 3 crits in a row versus Landorus, or 2 crits in a row versus Landorus, or 3, and then I think a crit versus Slowking to potentially do something. But Dice is able to win. Really good double in that Magnet Zone part. I don't know what Heatran was going for, but obviously damage on Slowking would have been nice, even with Regenerated, the fact that you have Stealth Rock plus Poison working against him, but really well played on Dice's part too. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this commentary of some of these SPL games. Of course, if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Like I said, I'll be coming at you guys later with later this week with the tiebreakers that will be happening, and yeah, BKC's playing again, so I'm hoping to catch that as well. So I'll see you guys. Goodbye, friends.